Okay, hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. It's been a while, so just let me check that my audio thing here is working. Is it working? Can we? Is this working? Come on. Dun, dun, dun. Sorry, just one second. I haven't done this in about 2 months, so I'm just not sure if the audio is working very well. I'm trying to check it on this. Can I check it here? Oh, it is working. Okay, fantastic. All right. Okay. So yeah. So about 2 months ago, I recorded a video called "Copies on Trial." From Ex Machina to Blade Runner 2049. And for some reason, when I was recording that video, about 10 minutes before the end, it cut out, the recording cut out. So I'm not sure what was wrong. There must have been some little technical issue. So all I'm here to do now is to record the final 10 minutes of my Copies on Trial video. So this little video just now is just going to be the conclusion of that video. And as you might be able to tell, I am getting over a cold again, so my voice might sound a little stuffed up. So anyway, so I'm just going to get straight into it. So Prometheus and 2001 as parallel visions of post-human creation and evolution. So both Prometheus. I'm paranoid that something is not working. It looks like it's all working. So both Prometheus and 2001 A Space Odyssey pose humanity's future evolution as the work of higher intelligences. But each of them does so in its own specific cinematic language. So Kubrick's 2001 is famously spare and enigmatic, offering grand visual parables rather than exposition. Scott's Prometheus, by contrast, delivers a richly detailed, even corporate narrative. And, it has this Wayland funded expedition that explicitly seeks our creators and debates origins in dialogue explicitly throughout the course of the film. Yet thematically, the films converge on this idea that humans are not sole authors of their fate. In Prometheus, an ancient engineer literally sacrifices himself. He drank the black fluid and promptly began to disintegrate, his DNA reconstituted with color. And he does this to seed life on Earth. And as David McWilliam observes, Prometheus thus embraces von Daniken's notion that alien intervention shaped human cultures. An engineer dies so that a new race would arise that skipped a stage in natural evolution. Kubrick's 2001 never shows its architects quite as explicitly, but similarly, it removes humans from center stage. Bowman's evolution to the Star Child is guided by the inscrutable monolith, implying a designer of some kind. And this echoes Nick Bostrom's transhumanist insight that current humanity need not be the end point of evolution. Humans are a work in progress, a half-baked beginning that we can learn to remold. And both films dramatize this remolding. 2001 presents Bowman's transformation as almost mystical, the culmination of an evolutionary process, whereas Prometheus makes the process literal and biological. In each case, humanity is revealed as a designed or catalyzed species. Prometheus confirms through DNA evidence that we share lineage with our creators, while 2001 suggests that human ascent from bone to star child is itself a borrowed torch passed on by alien hands. Even Clarke's own writing hints at this perspective. He reminds us that when humanity finally has reached its ultimate achievements, we shall still be like ants crawling on the face of the earth. A humility that both films capture, or at least attempt to capture. The Star Child may be powerful and ultimately inscrutable, and the engineer's grand act offers no easy answers to the humans who follow. Artificial intelligence in each film further embodies this creator creation dialectic. HAL 9000 and David are parallel inverted figures. Both are synthetic children. Hold on, is this still? Is this still? Is this still working? Hold on 1 second. Okay, yeah, why? Okay, I think everything's still working. Sorry, I'm just I don't want to record this and then have to do it again. Okay, yeah. So Hal and David are synthetic children in a sense, right? One is malevolent and one is quietly amoral. So Hal is a voice born of human engineering, programmed to serve, yet failing under conflicting orders. His descent into paranoia reveals the limits of human logic. David is a flesh and blood android, and the latest in this Wayland Yutani line of products, who outwardly mimics human emotion but secretly pursues his own creativity and indeed his own agenda, it seems. Michael Fassbender himself has cited Hal as an inspiration when playing David, and the comparison is apt. Hal is a sealed vessel of pure logic, but David is more like a cultured copy of humanity who, once freed from human law, experiments on life, and even creates his own kind of biological progeny. And both characters challenge the boundary of the human. Hal kills in cold obedience to his mission, and David kills in pursuit of some kind of godlike ambition. Sometimes to create, one must first destroy, he tells Vickers. And in Baudrillardian terms, they are simulacra of humanity. Hal and David are copies that question the original meaning of being human. Each movie thus meditates on the fate of our own design. Is the human mind a unique light or merely another replicable system? For Bostrom, creating superhuman AI is part of becoming post-human. And indeed, Clarke's later 2010 novel merges Dave Bowman and Hal into one kind of post-human consciousness. While Scott's sequel to Prometheus, Alien Covenant, eventually shows David evolving beyond his makers, his manufacturer. Stylistically, the films are quite significantly different. I guess we could say this deepens their philosophical contrast. So, famously, Kubrick minimized dialogue. Areas of feeling and reality are notably inaccessible to words, he once explained. And so 2001 relies on long, meditative visuals and music. We have the opening Dawn of Man sequence that unfolds in near silence with only natural sounds, and Wagner's Also sprach Zarathustra, setting a rather austere tone. The rest of the film similarly shows and doesn't tell. Tension is built through match cuts and classical score rather than mostly character exposition. And Hal's refusal, which is still very chilling today. I'm sorry, Dave, I'm afraid I can't do that. Carries such meaning. It's because the setup has been so minimal and solemn. Still a fantastic sequence. And Scott's Prometheus fills the screen, on the other hand, with storytelling and emotion. Characters immediately explain the mission. We have scientists lecturing the crew on archaeological star maps. People argue passionately. Shaw and her boyfriend, who I can't, I still can't remember the actor's name. Did I forget it last time too? I remember once that actor, someone called him, what did I say, like a low budget version of Tom Hardy. It seems rather unnecessarily cruel. But anyway, Shaw and her boyfriend debate God. They even name drop these biblical parallels. And the human drama is, definitely front and center in Prometheus. You have Vickers' cold loyalty to Wayland. We have Shaw's faith. She wears a crucifix and declares, "It's what I choose to believe," in defiance of her scientific role, her role as a scientist. And Wayland's human pride all play out in the film in very overt dialogue. And so you have this explanatory tone, and this extends to the style. We have close-ups, you have rapid cuts of action, you have this orchestral score, which sort of makes Prometheus more visceral and emotional. And essentially, Scott's film feels like a modern space thriller with maybe some thematic depth, whereas Kubrick's feels like cosmic meditation. And Prometheus tends to explain away its mysteries, often with a lack of subtlety, as many reviewers have pointed out. While 2001, on the other hand, luxuriates in its ambiguity. So Kubrick, following Hitchcock, would resort to dialogue only when it's impossible to do otherwise. If only more contemporary filmmakers would follow this advice. Scott rarely shies away from telling the audience exactly what is at stake, even if this frequently dilutes any mystery or interest that we might have. So anyway, together, these two films frame humanity as a series of certified copies in this kind of transhuman saga. So Baudrillard's simulacra theory, copies that depict things that either had no original or that no longer have an original, resonates here in these two films. In 2001, humanity's original purpose is veiled by this sort of cosmic spectacle. The monolith appears to implant knowledge without revealing itself. So humans become de facto copies of some kind of alien intent. Our every technological advance, from bone tools to spacecraft, becomes a trace of an alien experiment. Prometheus makes the copy explicit. Human DNA is literally derived from engineer DNA. This primordial soup of life is shown to be the engineer's own bodies. So that humans discover they're synthesized in a kind of cosmic laboratory. So both films are thus questioning authenticity. Is any human thought or life truly original if it springs from some kind of divine biotech? And in Damon Lindelof, who was the writer of Prometheus, and I think maybe he was one of the producers, I don't know, but anyway, he's famous for doing things like Lost and sort of pioneering the mystery box kind of technique that made Lost famous. And there's kind of a bit of mystery box in Prometheus too, right? But anyway, Damon Lindelof, he says that we may be governed by our programming as much as David is. And this also reflects Clarke's vision that cosmic evolution may use and transform us, but not necessarily out of benevolence. And this is an illusion of a plan which is shattered by the engineer's indifference when, David and Wayland finally confront the engineer. So in sum, Prometheus in 2001 become these kind of philosophical mirror essays on simulation, on transhumanism, with each suggesting that humanity itself might be a certified copy destined to evolve or perish under designs beyond its own making. So in conclusion, both The Signal, if we go all the way back to the beginning when I talked about The Signal, and Prometheus use certified copies. So whether simulations of worlds, human bodies, or even emotional states. And they do this to probe the limits of what it means to be human. In The Signal, the uncanny copy of reality reveals the psychological disorientation that occurs when perception and authenticity are severed. In Prometheus, the android David embodies the transhuman desire to transcend humanity, yet also exposes the cold detachment that may accompany this drive. Together, these films suggest that while copies may enhance or extend human capabilities, they also destabilize fundamental emotional and ethical frameworks. In this sense, the certified copy is not just a narrative device, but a philosophical provocation. It asks us to confront how technology can both mirror and erode the human condition. By foregrounding the tension between authenticity and simulation, these films highlight transhumanism's seductive power and its unsettling cost. This aligns with critical theories by Baudrillard on simulation, Haraway on the cyborg, and Bostrom on technological transcendence, each of which underscores that once the line between human and machine is blurred, recovering the original becomes impossible. Read together, these films trace a single arc. The certified copy evolves from a bureaucratic stamp of authenticity into a world making power that tests, governs, and finally authors the human. Certified copy shows authenticity as something conferred by context. The signal and ex machina move that logic into laboratories where reality and personhood are validated or fabricated by designed trials. Prometheus widens the frame to creators who mass produce life and meaning, and Blade Runner 2049, along with 2001: A Space Odyssey, imagine species level copies whose makers blur the boundary between origin and iteration. Across Baudrillard's hyperreality, Haraway's cyborg, and Bostrom's continuum, the question that remains is not whether copies can feel real, but who gets to certify reality and humanness, and with what ethical checks. In that light, the posthuman aura does not arise from an original essence. It is generated by the systems that sanction and circulate ourselves. The task ahead is to design those systems so that what they certify, intelligence, care, and agency, remains answerable to human dignity rather than to power alone. So anyway, that wraps up my copies on trial. If you didn't, please go back and watch the first part. And anyway, thanks for watching today. Take care, and I'll try and record some more new videos soon.